Hello, welcome. This is Patty Bennett. I'm so happy you are here today. Thank you for joining me for my weekly live crafting video. We are going to be looking at this really cute fun fold card today. So we're going to go over lots of tips. We're going to make this together. I'm going to give you all the dimensions. I'm just so glad you're here. I'm excited. I love to stamp with you on Fridays. So if you are joining me live, you will see a live red live button. There we go. That's how you say it. Up in the corner. And please say hello. Hi, Tammy. Hey, Shan, Debbie, Melinda, Patricia, and 15 others, it says. Well, welcome, everyone. So glad that you are here. Yay. Really happy to have you. Hi, Roxanne from Oregon. Hey, Linda from Manitoba. Yeah, so you could be morning, it could be afternoon, it could be evening. Goodness, could be, yeah, international audience might be evening already. So we are going to look at this fun Z fold card with the cute windmill and the tulips and the cute pink bicycle. Isn't that adorable? This might look familiar to you because a few weeks ago, I posted two other Z-fold cards. This one with the cute sailboats and this one with the fence and the pebbles and the birds flying in the sky. So I had posted these, and then after I made those, I wrote myself a note, try this card with the windmill and the tulips. And I love how it turned out. So I thought, well, this gives me an opportunity to shoot a quick video for you and show you how this goes together. Because I know a lot of us learn by watching rather than just reading dimensions. Oh, thank you, everybody. Hi, good morning. Oh, hello. Oh, it's way too many. Oh, Jennifer made this with the daffodil DSP. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I was going to say a shout out to everybody and list everybody's name, but my goodness, there's 68 names flying by here. So I'm just going to say hello and welcome to everyone. So glad you're here. Let me show you that I have used the New Horizons designer paper as my background. This is a representation of all 24 patterns in this 6x6 paper stack. It is by far my favorite paper stack in this catalog. I love this. And let me just super quickly say, because I do get asked almost after every video about these really fun collages that I show you. I have a downline, that's our terminology in Stampin' Up. I have a downline member who makes these for me with every new catalog. So I send her a pack of the DSP for all the new ones and the thick basic white cardstock, and she makes them all. So I have them, all over here. Actually, there's a whole stack plus all the other catalogs. So I have them for all of the different papers here. And I just enjoy showing you those as a representation when we are doing a video. So a lot of you ask, well, how do I make it? How do I get those? So the short answer is she is not selling them, at least at this point. I have asked her to consider that. But basically, if you want to make your own, start with a 1-inch and a 2-inch grid and cut up your papers in 1-inch, 2-inch, and 3-inch sections. And you can usually puzzle them together pretty easily to make one of these collages. So I just wanted to show you that. So that's New Horizons paper. We're using that. And then we are also using the Tulip Fields bundle today. So we've already done a video, gosh, I guess it was in January, I think, where I showed you how to use these pieces to make a card similar to that, and I used the Stamparatus. I can link to that up here. I will put a card up here when I am done for the YouTube replay so that you can find that if you missed it. But today we're also going to use the cute little windmill, and then in the set of dies, I know it's really tiny right there, but that bicycle just gets me. That is so cute. So we're going to use the bicycle as well. And these are Stampin' Up! Products you can purchase through my blog at pattystamps.com if you are wanting to purchase. So let's get started and let's make this. All right. So I wanted to show you for the 2 cards that I already posted. This is the piece of 6x6 New Horizons paper that was used for the background of the sailboat card. And this is the piece that I used in the background of this card. So it gives you kind of an idea where we're headed if you hadn't seen that post before. And then this is the piece that we are going to use for the windmill card. And really, these cards are so easy. And once you know how to make these, I bet you're going to make a lot of them. Let's see. I'm not sure. Sorry, I think there was a question, but I missed kind of that conversation. Anyway, so let's make it. And I wasn't sure what color cardstock I wanted for my base. I thought all of these would look really pretty. And so I was kind of hemming and hawing, and I couldn't decide. But then when I decided to make a pink bicycle, I decided that the pink would be really cute. So this is, I think this is the in color. Sorry, I have it set over here to make a hydrangea card, the polished pink. And I think this is a cute color to use for this because it just pops that bicycle right off the page. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that with the pink and make it similar to this one. But really, whatever, yeah, yellow would work as well, would be perfect as well. I'm wondering, let me see if I just have one already cut. Oh, I think this is curry or bumblebee, but that would work as well. We could do that. It actually picks up that color really nicely. Jennifer, I'm thinking we could try. I don't know. I'm really liking the pink. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What do you think? Pink or yellow? So let's see how it would look. So there's kind of the difference, how it would look with the yellow versus the pink. And we could do a brighter yellow, but this is not a bright yellow. This is more of the bumblebee color. So, oh, Margine says pink. Let's see. Anybody else have a preference, the pink or the yellow? I'm leaning towards the pink. And I'm normally not a pink person, but I'm leaning towards the pink. Colleen says pink. Shan says pink. Christine says pink. Glad you got this going. Okay, I didn't have any problems, Roxanne. I hope there weren't any problems on your end. Yeah, I do. I really do like the yellow as well, but I think I'm going to go with the pink. So I hope nobody else had problems. I'm not sure what Roxanne was referring to, but hopefully you all are seeing me and hearing me okay. So this set of dimensions will be on my blog, pattystamps.com, tomorrow, March 19th. So if you don't want to write this down, or, I mean, you could always just take a screen grab if you would like to. You are welcome to do that. But all of this will be on my blog tomorrow with this card. So you don't have to memorize this if you don't want to. So our base card is just your standard 5.5 by 8.5, and it is scored in half at 4 1/4. So I had already done that, so scored here at 4 1/4, and then it's also scored at 2 1/8, which is basically just half of this. Okay, so we have our regular size panel, and then we have 2 smaller panels. And while we have our trimmer out, we're going to go ahead and cut the designer paper. So all you need to do is to cut it down to 5 1/4 inches tall. And it doesn't matter if you take the extra off the top or the bottom. It's totally up to you. I took the extra off of the top. So you can see here that we have the full amount of the green at the bottom, and then I took my extra amount off of the sky, and I'm just going to do the same thing because I think it's a good ratio. So we're going to cut it to 5 1/4 tall, and save this because you never know, this could be helpful somewhere, right? And then we're going to flip it, and all you do, this is so simple, we are going to cut it at 4 inches and 2 inches, and that's all you have to do, so that you have basically 3 strips that are each 2 inches. And if you want to keep them in order, just make sure that you keep them in order. I'll give you a tip, by the way. If you're a demonstrator and you are making this in a class and you want to teach this in a class, I taught this to a couple of my friends, and I want to show you what I did. I flipped this over, and I put an L for left, I put an M for middle, and I put an R for right. And that way, when other people were making this, if those pieces got mixed up and they weren't sure where to put them on the base card, all they had to do was flip it over and say, oh, this is the left panel, it goes here. And then they could stick it on. So just a little tip for you. Or even if you yourself are cutting a lot of them, you could label them so that later you wouldn't be like, uh-oh, what do I do? Where does this go? And then the last piece that we need is a white strip for the very right side, and it is the same size, 5 1/4 by 2, so that you have your 4 panels that are each 2 inches wide, and that is going to make up these 4 panels. Yes, Susan, they could easily be mixed up. Exactly. Oh, I'm glad you like that tip. Good. Oh, I'm sorry. Cheryl said it's freezing and my sound is going out. Is anybody else having trouble? I hope everybody else can hear me. I hope it's not an issue. So again, this will be on my blog tomorrow, March 19th, pattystamps.com. So you can either do a screen grab. I'll hold it there for a minute. You can screen grab it right now, or you can check my blog for all of those dimensions tomorrow. So now all we have to do is fold up our card and add these pieces. So I like to go ahead and fold it in half, use my bone folder to reinforce that crease, and then this top part is going to fold backwards, and we're going to reinforce that crease. So this is what gives us the Z fold. It's a very, very simple fold, but I really like how this turns out, and probably a lot of you are too young to remember this, but when I was younger, I remember on the wall in lots of living rooms, you had these 3-panel pieces of artwork. So it was like you took a whole piece of artwork and you chopped it into thirds, and then each one had a frame, and they were up on the wall. It was very popular, and I'm sure there are still some artists who do that, and I'm not saying that it's not popular, but I do remember that from my childhood, and that's what this card reminds me of. I like to use, oh, Marlene remembers that. I like to use the liquid glue to put these panels on. And I just will put a little outline in my 3 spots there. And since I kept mine in order, they should work out just fine here for left, center, or middle, and right. Okay, so now we put our scene back together, right? Pretty easy. Nothing difficult, nothing scary. And then our right side is going to go over here. And I think, just to be safe, just so that I don't mess up, I'm going to go ahead and stamp. I'm just looking for my stamp set. Oh, I think it's in this pile. Do you ever have so many stamp sets out at once that you feel like you could be sort of losing your mind? So it's in the On the Horizon set, and I am going to grab the greeting, and I'm going to stamp this first because, sometimes Sometimes things can go wrong, and then if it's already glued in, then you're like, oh no. Right? All right. Oh my goodness. Dana says she's originally from San Jose. That's only about an hour south of me. That is fun. All right. And I do like to just stamp on my grid paper first. And see, I can see that it's a little bit too light over there. So I know I better ink it a little better. And I know it's fairly straight. So I'm just going to stamp it on there. Oh, fabulous. Look at that. That looks so good. That is awesome. Clean off my stamp. Oh, and this was Misty Moonlight, by the way, and we are going to use that for the birds. So I'm going to just set that aside and leave it out. But now I can add this piece over here. And there we have our 4 panels. Really simple. Okay. And I have everything else die cut, so this should go pretty quickly, but I had a few, a triptych. Thank you, Mary. I knew there was a name for that. Thank you so much. Thank you. I have everything die cut, and I have some tips for you. So I wanted to show you my tips on putting all of these pieces together. These little fence pieces are tiny. I'm just going to get those out of my bag. There's more in there. Come out, come out. There's another one. So I'll show you in the die set here what all of this is and how I did these. Well, that's a scrap. Don't need that. Okay, so let's look at the set of dies, and I'll show you what I die cut and what I used and some tips here. So there are little pieces. I'll flip them over so you can see. There are 4 little pieces of fence pieces, okay? So they die cut that. I still have to pop those little extra pieces out. There's a double fence piece, which I have one of those left here. And of course, it wouldn't be alive without a phone call. But luckily, my husband's working from home today, so he's catching the phone for me. Okay, so we have that double fence right here. We're going to stamp and die cut the windmill. And then we also have the cute bicycle. So here's a bunch of the fence pieces before I get to the bicycle. I want to show you what I did. I used a blending brush and some soft suede ink, and I randomly put ink onto my crumb cake cardstock, and then I die cut all the fence pieces. So that way they weren't all like the same exact color. Some were lighter, some were darker. See that? And they turn out kind of unique, more like real wood. So there's a tip on the fence. And what were we up to next? Oh, the bicycle. We're talking about the bicycle. So then the bicycle, my tip for you is when you want to die cut it with cardstock or designer paper, whatever, is to use the Stampin' Up! Adhesive sheets on the back. And that way it's going to be like a sticker. And you'll see when we put this one on that it makes it like a little sticker, very easy to stick it on. I did that with the fence as well. So you can see there that it has the white on the back and it makes it so much easier to put it on. Oh, good. I'm glad you like the tip, Susan. I'm glad you like that. Okay, so that's the bicycle tip. Oh, I found more fence pieces. Look at that. I can make more cards. Yay! Okay, I'm going to keep those all together. And then the grass and the larger fence are from a different die set. Let me grab that one. It's called the Horizon dies. So here's the grass, and here are the fence pieces that I used. A tip for die, and I've shown you this before, so I'm sorry if you've already heard this, but I think for anybody new, you'll appreciate this. A tip when you're cutting these fences is that if you die cut them from a wood grain pattern, such as any of these 3 here, These are from In Good Taste, and this is from the Blessings of Home. Then your fence pieces, look, they actually look like wood. And I think that makes it just so much more realistic. Aren't those really cool looking? So you have all different colors and wood grains and lights and darks. So I kept all those together there. We can pick one of those to use. And, oh, and then the grass. So the grass, I used the On the Horizons paper, and look how many different greens you can get out of there instead of just cutting a piece of green cardstock. Isn't that cool? And you can try the other side depending on which piece you cut. Now that's kind of a white and blue, so I wouldn't use that side, but either of those, right? Aren't they gorgeous? I love how those look. The reason I didn't use the adhesive sheets on these is because I might use, you know, one side or the other. And if you put adhesive sheets on that, then you're stuck. You have to use the other side. So there's a tip for not using. Yes, Susan, they are so pretty, aren't they? For not using the adhesive sheet on the grass. You can use it on the fence, but I kind of liked how the fence pieces were a little bit kind of loose. Like if you just put your adhesive kind of in the center and you stick it down, then the top and the bottom pickets kind of stick up a little bit. I kind of liked that. So I didn't use it on there. And then the last thing I want to show you for die cutting before we assemble are these little tulips. This is in the windmill field dies. It's almost a tongue twister. And this is the piece I used for the tulips. So at first I was like, what is that? But I looked in the catalog for examples, and I'll show you that I used different scraps of my New Horizons paper. Look at all those fun different kinds of colors you're going to get. So then, let me put them on here so you can see the contrast. So then look at these beautiful tulip pieces that you get, and they're already all multicolored. So again, you can see it right here. I just cut these strips up and just kind of made it like a little field of tulips going up to the windmill. Yeah, I think it works. I think it's cute. I like it. And I did put adhesive sheet on the back of these so that they would be super easy to stick down. So there, I'm going to stick my tulips right over here. So let's see. So we have the grass, we have the large fence, we have the bike, we have the little fence pieces, we have the tulips, and we need to stamp and color our windmill. So we will do that. And then I also stamped in the background this little clump of trees. So that I think is in the Horizon set, has that little clump of trees. But the Tulip Fields set has a bigger tree. So I'm thinking, let's do both. I think they would go together. I think we can use both. So let's do both in the background. We can add a larger tree. And we will also add the birds. All right, so windmill. Windmill is up next. Let's do that. So I have a piece of white that I can stamp the windmill on. Now you might think, okay, she's going to use Stampin' Blends, so she's stamping in Memento ink. But I want to show you something. I did not stamp in Memento. I stamped in soft suede ink. So you can use your Stampin' Blends and color on our regular die ink pads, and it will not smear if you just color fairly lightly. Now, if you like colored over and over and over and you were like really trying to scrub the color on there, yes, it would probably start to bleed. But I'll show you that you can just use it. And I thought it looked more like wood that way by using the soft suede. And oh, yesterday, what was I looking at? something. I was looking somewhere online with something, and I saw a red and white windmill that was gorgeous. And I thought, wow, that would look so good. But not on this card with the pink. So I think I will take Jennifer's suggestion, do a yellow background, do a red bicycle, and do a red and white windmill. And wouldn't that look cute, right? I think that would be amazing. Sorry for my reach. I forgot to get out some blends. And really, it's not going to matter what colors you use here. Any browns will be fine. I just grabbed the bronze and ivory, and then I think this is crumb cake. Yeah, light and dark crumb cake. So whatever. I think I might use, let's see. Let me grab, I think these are currently out of stock while I'm just videoing this in mid-March, but they'll be back in stock. So this is the 800 and 900 colors out of our new neutrals. I think I might have used a little bit of that. I should have written it down and I didn't, and I'm sorry. And since this is little, we're really not doing like, you know, hours of shading or anything. We're just making it have some color. And it's nice that you can use both tips. So you have your broad tip and your fine tip. So that was 800. Then I think I will use some of the dark crumb cake. And I'm just going to kind of go along the lines of where the Stampin' Up! Artist already did their shading. So kind of on the outside, to make it look a little more 3D, a little rounded. And then let's add just a little more darkness, a little bit. So this is the bronze, and that'll warm it up a little bit. It'll make it kind of go with the warmer sunsetty colors there. Then I will grab my light crumb cake and just sort of blend in from the outside. Like that. And that's it. I'm not going to overwork that. I'm just going to leave it at that. And then let's give it a dark doorway. Why not? Let's do bronze for the door. Make that kind of stand out. Oh, and you know what? We need to color behind here because that wouldn't be white. There we go. Just super simple. Nothing fancy about that at all. Let me scoot these and then die cut this out. So there is from our windmill field dies. We have a matching die for that. And we can just use our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss because it's right here. And I want to try something. Hang on one second here. This was a tip. Well, my goodness, what happened to my silicone mats? I had a stack of them over here. Oh, here they are. Okay, so one of my team members, Melanie Hawkins, said that she does this all the time. She said she puts her silicone mat down and then she puts her small mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss on it. And she said then it keeps it in place and it doesn't scoot around. So I said, well, I'm going to try that. I love that. And I like to use little Post-it notes. You can use any kind of little Post-it note or flag or Post-it note tape. And I just line up my die. And then I use the Post-it flag like that. And I just stick it down on there so that it stays in place. So we have our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss with the plates. Make my sandwich. And if you're watching this in March, hang on, I want to make these straight. There we go. If you're watching this in March of 2022, this mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss is on sale. It is 20% off right now. If you're watching it after March, then the sale is done. You know what? That helped immensely. This didn't move at all. What an awesome tip. Silicone mat. That was awesome. So now what I'm going to do is keep it right next to my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss so that I don't ever have to hunt for one. So there we go. So that's that. And I always put my dies away because, my goodness, they can just, seems like they can go anywhere and everywhere, can't they? Well, hello from Queensland, Australia, Sandra. That's awesome. Oh, good. Louise already does that. Christine, you're welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed the tip. Let's thank Melanie for that tip. All right. So then what I did was I just sort of started placing my pieces before I glued anything down or stamped anything. So I know my windmill is going to be there. I'm going to use that big tree. I think that's going to look good. And I'm going to get out the smaller tree and the birds. The trio of trees, actually, I should say, right? All right, so we have the larger tree. And we have the trio of trees, and I get the bird stamp ready. And I did garden green for the trees because I felt like that was kind of the best match to this. I think spruce would work, but then I wasn't sure if it would be too dark. And I didn't really want the trees to be, you know, the focal point of this. So what I'm wondering is, what do you think about if the tree is there and then it's like behind? It might be too much. Maybe the big tree should go over here. And what if we did that behind? Oh, I kind of like that. I'm going to try that. Artistic expression means you can just do whatever you'd like, right? And it's almost like Stampin' Up! Planned this because this stamp is like exactly 2 inches wide. Isn't that fun? It fits perfectly. Yeah, I think that's going to look really good. And it'll just look like the trees were behind there. And then, let's see. Do I want to do this big tree? I think I will. What the heck? Yep, I like that. I'm wondering if it'd be possible just to ink. I don't know. What do you think if we added that to there? I don't know if I will like it or not. I'm going to leave it here for just a minute and I'm going to think about that. I'm going to think about that. What do you think? Should I add the small trees behind there or not? I'm debating. Then I'm going to add the fence pieces. I think all we really need to do is put one fence piece on either side because you really don't need fence pieces behind the windmill, right? Yeah, I don't think we do. So we will, oh, I need a pokey tool to get this off. Large tree by itself. Oh, stamp the trees off. That would be good. Let's see. Thank you, Cynthia. So glad you enjoyed the cards. Thank you. All right, so we're going to put a piece of fence. I wonder if we should make the fence sticking above the horizon. No, I'm going to have the fence down here like that. Let's see, no tree in the centerpiece. Okay. Well, I already stamped the big tree, so it's there. Put the fence, oh. Yeah. We could do that. We could definitely put the fence by the big tree. I like that idea. Thank you so much, Jeannie. I think we might do that. Okay, so we have our windmill over there. We'll add all the little pieces of tulips on there. We'll add our bicycle. Oh, what about... I think that would look kind of fun. Let's just do it. It's just paper. Hi, Sonia from Montreal. Welcome. So glad you're joining live. Thank you for joining. Thanks, Gay. I'm glad you like this. Yes, Robin, it is tranquil, isn't it? It's very pretty. I love doing scenery type cards. Yeah, I think that would look good. I like that. I like that. All right, and we can do our bicycle. And the good thing about using the adhesive sheets is that, do you see how the adhesive sheet kind of grabbed several of those extra little pieces and kept it down there so I don't have to poke all of them out? I kind of like how the adhesive sheets do that. I'm trying not to rip the bicycle. This is really kind of tender, shall we say. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, I did rip a little part of it, but it's all right. We will make it work. I'm just poking out those. Of course, I said that, and then these didn't stick, right? Oh, well, it's all right. It's just really delicate, so you just have to be careful with this. Okay, and I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and stick this down. Now I've got them stuck all over me. So funny. And then I'm just going to pull the rest of them off of there because I don't want to rip this. I just don't want to rip any bit of it. And I'll show you a fun thing that I did. I thought that the handlebars and the seat could be dark, and I thought it would look good. And so I used my black Stampin' Up marker, and I colored the seat and the handles, and I think it looks really good. I don't know if you remember. I'll show you the card again, show you what I did. Just pull a couple of these out of there. Okay, I'll show you that. So on my dark black marker, I just colored the seat and I colored the handles, and it just gave a little bit of kind of dimension and fun to that bike. Let's see if I can get this piece out. Maybe tweezers would be better. Possibly. I'll have to work on those little pieces later. You don't need to watch me do that, but I will get those out afterwards. And then, okay, our tulips. So I want to kind of just measure how, so maybe that big for that one. And I was trying to make like each piece a little bit smaller so that it was kind of in perspective as it came forward. And they do nest. Do you see that? How they nest in each other? Pretty brilliant on Stampin' Up's part. That one, and then maybe one more yellow. About there. Okay, let's add those. And I did put the adhesive sheet on the back, so these are simple to put on. Or you could use little dots of liquid glue, or if you want to prefer to use glue dots, you'd have to just kind of roll them up, you know, make them tiny. You could do that. So if you missed in the beginning where I was explaining, oh wait, I think I'm going to do yellow next. I was explaining how I die cut these from the New Horizons paper, and that's what's giving them this variety of color. So you don't have to color them, which is really handy, and it's a time saver, and it just gives you some really pretty variations here with the colors. And that's why, remember when we cut the strip off the top of here and I said save that? Let me see, where did that piece go? Here. When I said save that, see, I cut the tulips out of that. So it's a money saver and time saver, and you get all these pretty little tulips happening there. All right, so let's move on to this panel. And I have a fence, and I think I like the lighter fence. Yeah, I think we'll do the white. I like that. And then we'll have a piece of grass. Yeah, I think that's a good one. I don't know. No, that's too much brown. Yeah, we'll do the lighter one. We'll do the lighter one, and we'll do the grass and the pebbles. So like I was saying, I kind of like the top and the bottom of these pickets or fence boards to be loose. And I love the perspective of this piece because it gives you that illusion of kind of inviting you into this scene, doesn't it? I really like that. And then we can have a piece of grass over here, which I'm going to cut this. And then I'm going to add, ooh, I like the bright, I'm going to add a little piece of the bright green behind it. So we'll just do a little surgery there. It's okay. And another tip, if you haven't seen some of my previous videos, I just want to show you. Over here I have just this little, it's kind of like a shot glass thing that I got in Hawaii on the Stampin' Up trip. I keep my glue uncapped upside down in here, and that way I'm not constantly fighting with the cap. I can just grab it and add the glue to my project, and I don't have to keep fiddling with the cap on and off. Oh yes, see, I love that. And I only glued down towards the bottom, so these grass pieces are loose, and I love how that looks. It just gives it like a really, kind of a realistic look. I was just grabbing my pebbles, so we'll put those on. And I think, yeah, pebbles under here. That will look good. So let's add some pebbles. There are 3 shades here, so you want to kind of use all 3 if you can, just to give kind of an alternate look of reality here, make it a little more realistic. So I've used all 3 colors. I'm going to put a few under here, kind of like, maybe kind of make it like a little roadway. And these are the long, skinny, light and dark gray pebbles here. One more? I like that. I like it like it is. Okay, we'll go with that. And then we have one more piece of grass to put over here. And I did a few more pebbles over there. So let's see. It's going to need to be cut off kind of like that. A little more surgery. gluing just along the bottom so that the top of the grass is a little bit loose, and a few more pebbles. Just thinking. No, never mind. Never mind. Sometimes it's not, doesn't always work, the things that we are thinking. Okay, so pebbles there, pebbles there, pebbles there. Awesome. Right, so we used the fence, we used that fence. We've got our bike and all of that. And so I think is the only thing left the birds. And then I think then we will have completed it. So I used Misty Moonlight for the birds. And I think, yeah, each stamp will fit perfectly in that 2-inch panel. And so I'm going to make them kind of going from like flying up into the sky like that. And then, that's right, I'm going to do one more, but then I'm going to show you what else I did. So then I cleaned it off and I only inked a couple. So I'm going to try and get those 3. Yep. And that way I could stamp just kind of up here, just to give, so it didn't look like the same stamp 3 times in a row. So I added a few there. Now I'm just going to add a couple right here again, so it just doesn't look like the exact same thing over and over. So if I do, let's try and do those 3. Yep. Down here, or maybe up here. I think up here. There we go. So there we have it. That is our beautiful scene from the windmill, the Tulip Fields bundle with the windmill, and kind of massaged in with the New Horizons dies and stamp set, the whole thing, because we got the paper, so the whole collection, we just meshed the 2 together, and I think that's a really cute card. I'll show you again the 2 others that are similar that I had on my blog a couple, maybe 6 weeks ago, I don't know, a month ago. Same idea, but not using the Tulip Fields, just using the New Horizons. And this one I added in the punch for the stamp and punch for the sailboat, and made it look like there were sailboats on a lake. So those were the 3 different ideas with this 3-panel Z-fold triptych card. Thank you. I'm so glad you like these. Thank you so much. Just reading back through some comments. If you have a question, let me know. I'm happy to go over anything if there was anything that you missed, so that I can answer that for you. And if you need the dimensions, it will be on pattystamps.com on Saturday, March 19th. I will also link to that post so that you can find that information after this video is done. Oh, good. Can't wait to try it. Beautiful card. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you enjoyed this. So happy. Anything you need to know about any of these tips or anything that we went over so that I can help you? Hi, Patricia in Switzerland. So glad that you joined us. Lovely to see you. It would be nice to take a walk. I have to tell you something funny, Lucy, about that. So last night I set up all my supplies here for my live today. And I have to tell you, this is funny. Almost all night, I was dreaming about this sky. I kept dreaming that the sky outside was all these beautiful colors. I was like, oh my gosh, I just like live, eat, breathe, dream, and sleep Stampin' Up. You're welcome. Yes, that tip with the silicone mat under the mini. That is a game changer. Isn't that fabulous? Glad you enjoyed that. Well, thank you, everyone. Oh, I did wanted to say, next Friday is the 25th. It's our son's birthday, and I am pretty sure that I won't be doing a live that day. I will be celebrating his birthday with him, and I probably will not be here for a live. So you can watch my business Facebook page for any updates, but I don't think I will be on here live. I think I'm going to take a day off and just enjoy celebrating our son. So you are welcome, everyone. Thank you again for joining. So glad that you were here. And I will, oh, Patricia's sad. I'm sorry. I'll try to do, no, I'm not going to be able to do a separate video next week. I just thought about next week. Next week is slammed for me. But I will see you in 2 weeks, definitely, for another live. So thanks again for joining me. Be sure to click like and share this video and subscribe if you haven't to my YouTube channel. And I will see you all again soon. Thanks. Bye.